He came to work for us because he truly wants to make a difference with his energy. And one of the things I've asked him to do is get involved and get all over this Venice beach ordinance business and use every talent that his years have given him to see if he could help. So he's played the lead role for me. From my staff, I'm fortunate that he's an attorney and that he's a mature guy in terms of experience of court proceedings and knows how to interact with not only the city attorney's office, but the judge and everybody else involved in the case. Norman will give us an opening remark and explain it. And if you see Michael Nagel, you remember him from last year, and he's also part of the process. But David Michelson is sort of a big shot in the city attorney's office. He reports directly to Rocky Delgadillo, and we asked him to come in here and give us his advice and add to the discussion so that we truly get a picture of what we need to interact with tonight, and hopefully it will be effective. Then you'll see comments from Reckin Park. Mark Brown is the city attorney with the incredible positive attitude who walked into my office and said everything was fine, but then had to come back a few weeks later and tell me some bad news. And then the next time he went through it, had to do it again. So he's been the bringer of good news and bad news, and he, of course, like the rest of us, want to make it work this time, and has also played a major role in the court proceedings on how do we finally craft something that works. And Robert Haskin is from Reckin Park. I don't know Robert. Where's Robert? Robert, I'm delighted you're here. We've seen you before, but Muckry is the one I deal with who runs that whole outfit. We're happy you're there. And then we have Captain Joe Hilton right here. And Hilton replaced Bill Williams. And I got to tell you, no one can replace Bill Williams, but someone can do just as good a job and maybe even in some areas show us new talent, and he's been doing that. And just on behalf of all the elected officials, we just want to share our sympathy for Sims, who in the squad action last night died. So give our sympathies to the men and women in blue who put themselves in harm's way. Give a round of applause and a moment of appreciation. So that's the agenda. We try to boil it down and make it as simple as we can for simple things like me.
For 40 years, we never had one.
Okay. So we're here to talk about this draft ordinance that was prepared under court supervision. We had about 12 negotiating sessions. Each one creates the frustration that's felt by all of us in this room at the difficulty of crafting a sound, workable, and enforceable ordinance that allows everyone to enjoy Venice Beach and exercise their constitutional rights. Now, every word in this ordinance, this draft, was extensively debated in court. It's really been drafted and redrafted. Several of you came to court, made suggestions that the judge accepted, and they were included in the draft. Now, Councilman Rosendahl told the court he was unwilling to introduce this new ordinance to be enacted by the council until you had a chance to review and vet it. The proposed ordinance supervised by the court is hardly perfect. We expect it will improve with your input.
It won't work.
missing? All right, AKR. Stephen Fisk first, and then AKR. And did you shout out Matt Dowd that you were first? I'll put you third. Okay, get in the line there. Well, we weren't giving that way. Go for it. You're up.
Thank you.
Everybody will speak if everybody sticks to the time frame.
First of all, I want to thank all those who worked hard on this ordinance for their diligence in completing it finally. That's good. What's not good is how long it took. And in the interim period, the boardwalk deteriorates. Not good. I appreciate the 10 spaces in the P zone being a first come, first serve. I think that's good. And 2 spaces assigned for giving away food. Good. Very good. Food Not Bombs does a humanitarian service, a spiritual service. The city should honor that, and thank you for doing that. It's something we called for a couple of times ago. A declaration that items are expressive, I think, is very important, and that declaring what those items are is a very important thing to have in the I zone. That's good. We called for a screening in the previous meetings, and I'm glad to see that some degree of screening has finally been incorporated in the ordinance. Restricting amplified sound to designated areas is good, but sound is always going to be a problem. Just always a problem. Those are some of the good things. But now the question becomes, what do we do with an ordinance that is very complicated and very confusing? Between the I zone and the P zone, it's very complicated and very confusing. You have to really read this thing very carefully. So I want to go over a few points if I may.
You got 10 seconds left.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Okay, I want to give everybody 2 minutes first.
Okay.
All right,
I've gone over the ordinance very, very carefully, and I would...
Quick, so the others behind you can get a chance to speak. Go ahead, Steve. All right, you're sitting here.